Auga. Time to move
Next.
on. So this next part, first we have to design a cheer. Okay. So I haven't quite figured out how to present this. So forgive me for stumbling on it. I think I should just kind of like run in like a bull. So this we don't have a lightning round. What we have is a thunderclap.
Thunderclap.
So in this
Okay.
round, we're giving voice to the voiceless. So you don't get to verbally respond to these policies, but you respond as if you are the wolf, as if you are ice. So if it's a good policy for you, if it will benefit you as this voiceless aspect, then you cheer for it. What I'm going to do is read off the 10 points condensed of the 21st century economic bill of rights. Is the right to a job that pays a living wage.
Whatever you do to the least among you, you do to me and to yourself. Moo!
Number 2, voice in the workplace. The right to a voice in the workplace, the right to a union and collective bargaining.
You
We're
do
just
to the
kinda
least
going with the
among you,
flow.
do to yourself. Moo!
Number 3, the right to universal health care.
But I believe in universal
Whatever
health
you
care, we're
do
going
to
to keep
those
a lot
around you, at
more
least among you,
medical
do to
products
yourself.
out
Moo!
of my water.
Number
I'm not sure how that
4,
one ties in.
the right to cost-free higher education.
You do to the least among you, you do to yourself. Moo!
Number 5, the right to affordable housing. Dark.
Whatever you do to the least among you, you're doing to yourself. Moo!
Number 6, the right to a clean environment and a healthy planet.
Whatever you do to the least among you, including your environment, you do to yourself. Moo!
The right to a meaningful endowment at birth.
To the smallest around you, you do to the biggest. Moo!
Number 8, the right to sound banking and financial services.
Whatever you do matters. Moo!
Number 9, and right to an equitable and fair justice system.
Among you and the biggest among you, the justice among you, it matters. Moo!
Number 10, the right to cultural and civic engagement.
What you do matters. Moo!
That's right. Ding, 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 ding. And that ends our thunderclap round. Yay! So what I'm wondering, just a little follow-up question. How are the voiceless represented in the 21st century economic bill of rights? Was there any of the points there that you suddenly thought, oh, wow, this could pertain to my voiceless population?
Well, it was hard for some of it. I think that the policy that resonated most with the wolf is the right to a clean planet.
Mhm.
But, you know, I did find myself logicking myself into how this could help animals, how these various things that make humans more stable and more able to pay attention to the ecology of our lives, that I see how they relate to animals, even though it doesn't seem at first like they would.
Mm. True, true, true. And how about Aaron with ICE? Were you surprised at any connections you were able to make through those policies that might be beneficial for the earthly element
Yes,
of life?
actually, the free and equal justice system, it made me think about Stephen Donziger and like how kind of gnarly that whole situation got with Chevron. And if corporations are able to prosecute cases in a kangaroo court about the environment, then you really like it's a kind of a desperate need for a free and equal justice system. And I don't even know where to start with that, but I mean, obviously, like expanding the Supreme Court is a good place.
Right. Well, one thing with that comes to mind with the free and equal justice system would also be to reverse these laws that say that you can arrest protesters,
Yeah.
you know, and that limit protesting. So that because that shuts up people who are trying to give voice to the voiceless aspects
That's
of our
right.
society.
Mhm.
So
No, there's different, you have the animals that it applies to, but you also have things that make a society run that you wouldn't immediately think of. If you have, less stress towards housing, the ability to housing, the building for schooling, the ability for wages, it leads to make it easier to sustain infrastructure. You have more money, more longer times through your lifetime, and easier to be able to get tools to improve your society, your roads, your environment, your houses, your apartment. You learn new things, your car. It means you save money. It means businesses save money, and it creates more people to have skill sets that they wouldn't be able to have because they're too worried about these things.
mhm, very true.
Nathan?
I just felt like we have crumbling infrastructure. Well, if people had more time because they have less debts and things, it means more people have an opportunity to help those construction and other types of projects out.
Mhm, mhm. That's very true. They all do fit together. Do you have any comments, Barbara?
Sure. So speaking from the voiceless of the earth and animals, we're not just on the earth, we're of the earth, and that we're all downstream. And we are in a system right now where we have to governmentally subsidize our big agriculture because it's not sustainable. 20%, sometimes 15% of our carbon impact is from cows and from our agriculture. We're poisoning our waters, we're poisoning our land. And it's insanity that we are destroying and poisoning our environment and poisoning our land. And we have the technology, we have the awareness, we have the capacity to make a difference. The only thing that stands in the way of making a more sustainable world, that we're not going to have the next goal be water in 40 years. What stands in the way of that is government, and that having a leader like Marianne Williamson that knows that the earth, the land, the environment is vital to the survival of humanity, not just the animals and the earth, but of humanity. And that now it's undisputable that we have turned a turning point where, whether some scientists say 10 years, some say 40, that water will be the next gold. And it's our home is burning, and we've got to wake up. And it's not a matter of, is this, woo-woo or a theory. It's a matter of fact. I actually went to the parts of the ocean where it's the dead part of the ocean that has been affected in Missouri from the outlet of the that they take all the slurry of the animals, this big farm way of farming, and it goes into the ocean. And I actually sat there and saw the dead parts of the ocean. It was whole area. It's called one of the dead areas. It's like miles of dead ocean. I've been to the factory farms. I've gone to the slaughterhouses, and it is horrific what we're doing to the land and the earth. And Marianne is the hope. Marianne is the hope that we're gonna have a world to live in for our children in 50 years.
You're
She's the hope.
talking about the Mississippi River.
They actually, the pig farmers will take there's not policy around this. They're outside of the policy and they're funded by big government. And so a lot of that slurry of species goes into the river that goes into the ocean.
Oh my
And it is
goodness.
affecting, I mean, among many things that we're doing to destroy the oceans, that's one of them.
Yeah, I want us there needs to be this huge distinction between like the corporations are like I get really because of our militaristic things, we need to instill hope in for the Democratic Party for as much as possible because they're like there's a difference between removing the corporate power and saying less government. See, government's in the way. They want to say, well, we'll just cut down on government. I am so sorry, something's going on with my
Well, it's about changing systems, right? So she's
right,
creating that where it's not
right.
about like defunding the police or destroying the system. It's about creating a new paradigm. It's about creating a new paradigm that's sustainable for everybody. And there's a way in which we can farm that's actually been done. It's called permaculture. It's not the big monoculture. There's a way to farm that actually gives back to the earth and that actually produces 7 times more produce. So we're just kind of really caught in old systems that are actually destroying us, and we're so damn resistant to change.
I hope that your experience here today was filled with a little bit of silliness and fun. I think that all of Marianne's policies reflect compassion in some way. And I think that compassion leads to laughter and lighthearted experiences at times. And
Mhm.
that, this kind of game show is a way of remembering that and
Mhm.
wanting to participate in that aspect. So I thank you very much. I'm wondering if you have any last comments or questions. You can certainly comment on what was your favorite part or anything like that.
I like the fellowship, the community connection. Like um Michigan to Texas, like that's a big gap and like we like it feels closer. Like
Wonderful. What about you, Kara? What did you think?
I think this was a fun activity and I enjoyed it.
Wonderful. How about you, Darren?
This was great. I really enjoyed being with you all tonight. And yeah, I agree with you, Wesley. Like it's nice to, meet people face to face. I mean, although it's virtual, but we're, pretty much like just, getting to know like our fellow comrades in this movement. And I think about Michigan all the time. I have a dear friend up there. Marianne has invited me up there, and I do think about like moving up there too. So, so
No,
yeah.
the
So
weather's terrible.
we
I
just
know,
moved from Arizona.
But
but I hear it's
Houston,
really beautiful. Yeah, Houston's
not
hot,
great
but
either.
yeah. And thank you so much, Ree, for hosting this wonderful activity and learning more about the different policies that I might have not known about. So.
Yeah, it's fun and I really appreciate it too because I've kind of got to know you all a little bit on social media and we share things back and forth and um I think that it's nice to extend that kind of friendliness and I'm hoping that by us extending our friendliness this way that more people kind of see
The value.
the value of of these kinds of policies, of doing things to make things better as
Yeah.
opposed to getting stuck into just getting in the way of progress or stopping something or being right about something. We just we need to start collaborating and fixing these problems and getting on with it,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, and I I know that things they don't look real positive, you know, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't still feel good to support these policies. And I think that showing people that it feels good, you know, to want these things and to talk about these things and to try to plan how to make these things happen, that's the place to be because we need everybody.
Right.
We're
Who
stronger
So many
together.
LEDs, which is just rough.
Yay!
Rough.
The thunderclap.